In the last session, we have created this calculator. This is the program that we have done in the last session. And today I want to complete this. In the last session, we were concentrating more on the design part, that there should be a text box here at the top. There should be these operators at the bottom and these buttons in the center. We have used border layout and we have learned how to use border layout as per our requirement. One important thing, why do we require layouts? Because uh, if we want to create a screen like this screen, there are so many buttons. There are more than 15, 20 buttons and controls on the screen. So if we want to put everything, we have to do a lot of calculation if we do not use layout managers, and we will add everything through the coordinates, then it will be very difficult, but it becomes very easy when we uh, use layouts to design our screen. In the next session, we'll be designing a very beautiful login page, and then we'll use the home page, and we'll be starting our project from the next class. So this is the class that you have to be very carefully understand how things are happening. Now, whatever we have learned in the Java programming, the if statement, the loop, the variables, the arrays, everything will be used here. So now I'll start with the actions. What do we want? Suppose I want that 12 plus 3 is equals to, when I press 1, 2, it should display 12. When I press plus, this screen should be empty. When I press 3, then again this 3 should be coming here. And when I press equals to, then the result should be shown here. So for that, what we have to do? We have to write the events on each of these button 1, 2, 9, and 0. So as we have already shown you how to add action listeners. So this is how we add action listener, and I'll copy this. I'll come to this example that we were discussing. Now, these are the buttons, and for each button, we want to perform some task. So it is from B1 to B0, then this equals to and clear, and there are more buttons. So to perform the task, I'll come, let us put a comment here, and this section will be using for all the action that is to be performed. So whenever the B1 button is clicked, this function will be called B1.add-action is the new. And what we have to do in the text box, the name of the text box is T1. So when B1 button is clicked, the text box will show what? 1 on the screen. Okay. And similarly, I'll copy this. I'll put it again. When B2 button is clicked, I'll show 2 in the text box. So T1.setText will set the value 1 in the text box. T1.setText here will set the value 2, and this value 2 will be set when the B2 button is clicked, and 1 is set when the B1 button is clicked. Now I'll run the program and let us see whether it is happening or not. So now when I click 1, you can see 1 is clicked. When I click 2, 2 is clicked, but 1 should remain there so that it becomes 12. 1 should not go. So for that, what we have to do? We cannot write it directly this way. Instead, what we will do, we'll create a variable, a string num is equals to, first of all, we will get what is there in the text box. So whatever is there in the text box, t1.getText will get that value, and then we will add num is equals to num plus the label 1, and then we will set this here like this. So what we are doing, like see here what is happening. When B2 button is clicked, T1 text field will show 2. So whatever was previously there, if anything was written previously there, it will be deleted and only 2 will be shown. But we want that if some number was present there, then we have to add some more digits to it. So here what we are doing, we are first getting the value of the text box into this num variable. We are adding 1 to that existing number, and we are concatenating it so that it does not perform arithmetical addition. So if it is 2 already there, then it will become 2 plus 1, 21, not 3. So that is why I've taken the variable as a string so that it does not perform arithmetical addition, it performs concatenation. And then this value will be shown here. So the same concept, I'll copy it here, I'll put it here. Okay. And here what will be? It will be 2. Now let us run and see whether this is happening as we want or not. So I press 2, I press 1, see, it becomes 21. I press 1 again, it becomes 211. I press 2 again, it is adding on the text field. And similarly, we have to perform in all of these buttons. So I'll quickly copy the same thing for 3. What will be here? It will be 3. Similarly, for 4, what will be there? It will be 4. For 5, there will be 5. Okay, so B1, B2, B3, this is B4. For B4 it is 4, for B5 it is 5. Similarly, for B6, it will be 6. For B7, it will be 7. For B8, it will be 8. For B9, will be 9. And then we have also one button that is 0. So for B0, it will be 0. Now let us stop this program. Let us run again to see whether all the buttons are properly working or not. So 2 is working, 6 is working, 9 is working, 0 is working, so every button is now working. Now, suppose I put the first number. Now what will happen? I'll click one of these operator plus. So when I click plus or minus or multiplication, this number should be stored somewhere and this text field should become empty so that I can enter the second number. So for that, what we have to do? First, we have to write the action listener for plus, minus, multiplication, division as well. So where are those buttons? Plus, minus, multiplication, division. These are the P plus, B minus, B mul, B div. So for all those, like we have put here, we'll also write the same thing for B plus. Okay, so first of all, I'll try to explain the concept of B plus and then we'll see what to do with the same thing will be done with minus, multiplication, division, etc. So whenever this plus button is clicked, what we have to do, we have to store the numbers. So we'll create a variable at the top so that it becomes a global variable. So I'll create a variable here. Static integer number 1. Okay. So this is the first number. Similarly, we have to use number 2. We have to use the result. So I'll declare all the 3 variables that will be required later on. So num1 is for first number, num2 is for second number, and result is for storing the result. And I also create a variable of a string type for storing the operator. What is this? Will see. So I'm coming down here in the plus section. When this plus button is clicked, what we have to do? We have to store number 1 is equals to t1 dot get text. So the first number is stored in t1 and the text box has to be empty. So I'll make this box empty. Now, what is the error here? On the right side, this is a string. t1 dot get text is a string, and on the left side, it is integer. So we have to use integer dot parseInt, integer dot parseInt function to convert it into a string. So what we are doing, we are getting the first number from the text field and storing it in num1, and then we are clearing the text box t1. Now let us run and see what is happening. So suppose I enter 25 and I click plus. See, now this is not shown here because number 1 has been stored in num1 variable. Now suppose the second number is 50. So this will be the second number. So as soon as I click equals to, what should happen? It should, first of all, when we click the plus, minus, multiplication, division, it should store the operator, which operator the user has clicked. And when we click equals to, it should perform that operation. So what we have to do here, when we are clicking plus button, we also have to store the operator, which operator was clicked. So the operator was plus operator. Okay. So when we click the plus, the value of the operator variable will be plus. Similarly, for the same thing will be done for the similarly for the minus. What we have to do? We'll use minus, and in minus I'll store minus. Now similarly for this is for minus. Now for multiplication also we have to perform the same thing. For multiplication I'll be using the multiplication symbol, and for the division there are 4 operator buttons: plus, minus, multiplication, and division. So I'll use the div symbol. Now, when the user clicks the equals to button, there's one equals to button. What is the name of the equals to button? We'll see. It is BEQ. BEQ is the equals to button. So when the user clicks the equals to button, what we have to do? Let us see. So when the user clicks the equals to button, then the new number that is in the text box will be 2. will be stored in num2. And now we'll check what we have to give the result. So if the operator is equals to plus, we have to perform the addition operation on the two numbers. Okay, so we'll perform the this, and if it is similarly, if the operator is minus, we have to perform the minus. If the operator is multiplication, we have to perform the multiplication. And if the operator is division, we have to perform the division operation. And whatever is the result, we have to show it in the text box again, t1 dot set text. And what is the text that we have to set? We have to set the result dot, we can use to a string, or we have a string dot value of also a string dot value of, we can use. So we have written the code. Now let us see if it is happening perfectly. Then I'll explain everything once again. First of all, we enter 25, then I enter plus, then I enter 15, then I enter equals to, and it is showing 75. So it is running properly. Now suppose I click minus, I click minus, then this should go and clear. Similarly for multiplication, everything. So how it is happening? Let me run this program once again. First of all, I am entering 20. Okay, so 20 will be stored whenever we are clicking 2, it is storing in T1, and then it is 0 is concatenating here, so it becomes 20. Now, when we click the operator, what it is doing, it is clearing the text box. So I'll show you what is happening in plus, minus, multiplication, division. Plus is there, minus is not there, that is why it's not working. So I'll quickly copy for minus also, write the code for minus also. V plus V minus. So whenever the operator plus minus anything is getting clicked, first thing that we have to do, we have to, whenever the operator is clicked, I have entered 20 and clicking the operator, you can see I have entered 20, I'll click the plus operator. So what will this plus operator do? It will store the value 20 in num1 variable. Then it will clear this T1 text box. So T1 text box will clear. And it will also store that plus operator was clicked. So what will be the value of operator plus operator variable? It will be plus. So now I'll show you. I'm clicking plus. Okay. So num1 is having, let me open a notepad to show you the variables. See, we have, I'll keep this also open. We have num1 variable, we have num2 variable, we have operator. Okay. So it was 20 here. I've clicked plus. So it was 20 here. I clicked plus. So you can see the code. 20 is stored here in num1. So num1 is equals to 20. And the value of our operator is plus. Okay. And this text box has become empty. Now I'll type 30 here. And I'll click equals to BEQ. So now we have to see what is happening when we are clicking BEQ. So this is important as well as interesting to understand. So as soon as I will click this button equals to button, what will happen? First of all, it will take the value T1 into num2. So num2 will become what? It will become 30. Okay. And then it will check what is the value of the operators. What is the value of operators? It's plus. So what is the value of result variable? We also have a result variable. So result variable will be 20 plus 30, 50. If the operator was minus, it will be 20 minus 30 minus 10. In case of multiplication, it will multiply. In case of division, it will divide. Now, the value of result is to be shown here. In this case, 50 has to be shown here in the text box. So when I click equals to, you can see it is showing 50. Okay, I'll run this once again. We have these variables. We have declared these four variables, 2 for the number, 1 for the operator, 1 for the result. I'm running this program once again. I'll take this. I'll give it here up to plus so that it is visible. The complete code is visible. Now see the variables and see the code. So I'm entering 12. Then I click minus. Suppose I click, okay, let me click plus. So when I click plus, what will happen? 12 will go to num1. So it will become 12. This text box will become empty. See, this text box becomes empty. And operator will become plus. So operator is now plus. Okay. Now I enter second number. Suppose 42. I enter 42. Now I click the equals to button. So what will happen when I click the equals to button? So it will first take out the new number into num2. So it will be 42 again. Then it will check which operator and perform the operation. So result will be 54. And this result will be shown here. So as I click, it becomes 54. Okay. So this is how it is happening. Now suppose there is 54. I click minus. So, or I click plus again, since it is showing here. I click plus again. So what will happen? This number 54 will be stored in num1. So this will be 54. I click 14 and I click equals to. So as soon as I click equals to, num2 will be 14 and 54 plus 14 will be shown. Which button I clicked? Oh, okay, I missed the code. So this is how it is happening. Okay, this is 148. 148 minus 148 is equals to, okay, n equals to, and minus the operator is not changed. In case of minus, say in minus, we have not used this. Okay, that is why it was performing addition. I'll run the program once again. Okay, so this is 20 plus 20 is equals to 40 minus 10 is equals to 30. Multiplication by 2 is equals to 60 divided by 5 is equals to 20. So all the four operations are being performed. Now, when we click the C, what we have to do? We have to clear all those variables. So in case of clear, let me see what is the name of the variable clear. It is BC. So we'll quickly copy the code and in case of BC, what we have to do? We have to remove all these values. So number one will be 0. Okay. Number two will be 0 and result will be 0 and operator variable will be also empty because we are clearing the memory. So all these memories will be clear so that we can again perform some tasks. Now see, this is 20 minus 5 is equals to 15. Now I clear. So everything has gone. Now I 2 plus 2 equals to 4. So if I clear, everything will go. Now, if we do not clear 2 plus 2 equals to 4, everything is remaining. The first number now will become 4. 4 minus 3 is equals to 1. So if I do not use the clear button, the previous values will remain and we can start from there. If we clear it, everything will be clear. So this is how we can create a calculator application. Very simple, only the repetition of code, but this is how we create applications in Java. So in the previous session, we designed the screen. Today we have performed the actions. So this is an example of buttons action to be performed. In the coming session, we'll learn some more controls. We'll create a login page and we'll also write the code for the login page.